out of New England. Give us the details that we all need to know this morning about the release of Cam Newton by the Patriots.
Well, first of all, Kay, Mac Jones won the starting quarterback job in New England. He was the better quarterback throughout the course of camp and the preseason. He was the more consistent quarterback. He really impressed the Patriots on a daily basis. One thing that has always made Bill Belichick great is he is willing to adjust his plan, do what is best for the team. In this case, it is starting a rookie quarterback who, in talking to coaches and scouts prior to this year's draft, was probably the most ready to start in week one of any of those quarterbacks. So it'll be Mac under center September 12th against the Dolphins. So what's next now for Cam Newton? There wasn't much of a market for him back in March when he re-signed on a one-year, $5.5 million deal with the Patriots. That is backup quarterback type of money. Now, Cam is 32 years old at this point. He, of course, has a big personality, a unique play style. He's also, as we now know, based on him missing time last week, not fully vaccinated. That generally is not the profile that NFL teams are looking for in a backup quarterback. And because Cam has made it so much money in his career, and because he has offsets in his Patriots contract, if he signed right now on a minimum type deal to be somebody's backup, he would, in essence, be working for free. The better option for Cam at this point may be to wait, see if there's an injury somewhere down the line, and then maybe Superman flies in to save the day, okay?
Tom, thank you so much for being here. Invaluable information, setting the tone here on a Wednesday. Appreciate you. We'll talk to you throughout the 3 hours here on Good Morning Football. And, of course, leading into kickoff, which is 8 days away. Huge move by Bill Belichick in the front office. A lot of ins and outs as my earring pops out of my ear and rolls on the floor. What do we make of the Patriots releasing Cam Newton? Triggs?
Yeah, there were a lot of memes and a lot of jokes. And yesterday was a tough day in New England, and it was because a lot of the players really like Cam Newton, and a lot of the coaches really like Cam Newton. And I think Bill Belichick really likes Cam Newton, too. But Tom Pelissero nailed it. Mac Jones won this job outright. And he won this job outright. And then it was, what do we do with Cam? Do we put him as our backup? And it's an 11-year veteran who's won an MVP, who's never been a backup in his life, now hovering in the locker room as this big, larger-than-life presence that a lot of the players absolutely love? Or do we just give the reins to Mac Jones and say, let's go with the guy who won the job? They chose the latter. I don't think this decision was directly because of the vaccination status, which has been mentioned. I think this was more, it was Mac's job. We're giving Mac the role, and we're going to put it on his plate in year one. And Belichick's the rare coach, I think, in the NFL who will not be second-guessed. The team is going to go with that vibe, and the rest of them are going to get in line, and they're going to rock. Now, if you say, well, wait, Cam play pretty good. Like, from what we saw, everyone says it out of there. Mac won this job, and it wasn't really that much of a debate. Let's see Mac Jones during some of the preseason. This was on Sunday. This is a pass to Devin Asiasi out of UCLA, and I showed this on Monday because this is one of these back-shoulder deals that is all about timing, poise, with pressure on him, and Mac nails the tight end right where they want. Now, that's a pass, and you say, okay, well, not every quarterback can make that. That's the kind of pass that a rookie quarterback can make. And you say, wow, he knew exactly how to anticipate. He's got a connection with the tight end. And then you say, all right, overall, how did Mac look? Let's see the preseason numbers, because you could you say, preseason, who cares? It was pretty good. He was really, really high percentage on the completions and attempts. And that's without two passes that really blew people away. Let's show the Wilkerson one again.
This is a legendary pass.
Preseason incomplete passes to start the show, but you got to see it to believe it, because those numbers are one thing, and then you see a pass like this, and you're like, oh gosh, like that guy's got it. That should have been caught. And it wasn't just the Wilkerson one. The following week, there's a pass that he has in the game against the Eagles, and it's to N'Keal Harry, and it's like, all right, well then if you complete these two passes, and we put these in the books, which he should have been caught.
Best preseason ever.
This guy had an unbelievable preseason, has all the stats, has everything, and you say, all right, well the numbers add up too. Truth of the matter is, Cam Newton's situation is a whole other deal. For the Patriots, it was Mac Jones. He won the job outright, and they couldn't have Cam Newton there. They didn't want to have Cam Newton there. Just being in the building and now hovering as a presence when they're trying to give the reins to a first-year quarterback, something Belichick has never done in his NFL career. Just said, hey, rookie, day one, you're starting.
Mac was good. Mac was really good. Tom said it. You said it, that Mac won the job. I think Cam blew it. I do. How much of what Mac did in that final preseason game was about that stretch of practice that Cam missed and that Mac ran with the ones. Is Cam Newton the starting quarterback right now? Is he still a Patriot if he's vaccinated? And that's not a political thing to say. It's a practical thing. It's the elephant in the room. I also want to bring up Cam's Instagram. He posted afterwards, after yesterday, everyone reacted to the news, and he's got the ransom note font and everything. I really appreciate the love and support during my time. Please don't feel sorry for me. I'm good. Who's feeling sorry for Cam? Like, you may like him as a player. This is a big boy sport. And I don't know, I feel sorry for players who get injured. I feel sorry for players who get character assassinated. I don't have the bandwidth for someone who I think lost his job because he chose not to get vaccinated. It's his personal choice, but it's a really practical matter at this point. Also, I think it was a shock yesterday because, oh my God, it's the Patriots and it's Cam Newton and these are huge entities and they decided to cut him. If you really look at the facts, a player who played really poorly last year was let go from a team that had a bad season last year. A guy who's been deteriorating for 5 years, and they brought in a new player at his position. Is it even that shocking? I don't know. I have a lot of issues with the choices that he made, and I know that's a personal decision and everything like that, but look, you want to go back to college. There's always something with Cam. Always. There's something dramatic, something off the field. Some of it's his fault, some of it's not. He chose to do this. He messed up big time at a critical position in which they drafted a first-round quarterback, and Belichick said, bam, last year our season was derailed by COVID. We're not messing around with any BS this year. And, see you later, and I hope you catch on.
Strong.
But are you worried about if Mac Jones struggles, if Mac Jones gets injured? You know, it's so many other variables. Yes, he had a really good preseason, but it's the preseason. Ain't nobody scheming. Ain't nobody game planning. You're supposed to go out there and throw strikes.
Target practice.
That's what you're supposed to do. It's like glorified 7-on-7, except you have a pass rush. And so, to me, this is the most Bill Belichick thing that I think, he would do.
Right.
Because he doesn't want the distraction. He does understand that Cam, to your point, Peter, he is a huge personality. There's guys in that locker room that probably pick sides. The moment they drafted
there are guys in that
Jones,
locker room who had his jersey as a kid.
Exactly. Love Cam, idolize Cam. Cam was he's like Allen Iverson, Michael Jordan.
Yes.
It was a culture thing with Cam.
And that's that Instagram post probably to them. Don't feel sorry for me. Don't feel bad for me. Maybe he's talking to the guys in the locker room.
It's guys that legitimately root for Cam. And so, yes, I felt like Mac Jones was the better player for this football team, but I still thought there was value for Cam Newton instead of just leaving him or cutting him. I understand the distraction side of things, but, I mean, he didn't play great, but, man, just using him in some of those quarterback runs. Bill Belichick is the ultimate guy who tries to scheme other teams, for the success of his own football team. And when you're down there on the red zone and you can just incorporate your quarterback into the run, you bring 11 guys to the party. Yeah. You make them play without a middle field safety. You make them defend you just a little bit differently. And so for a coach who loves to dictate what the other team does, I just think Cam was a weapon that they no longer will have.
I agree. To D'Angelo's point, he had 12 rushing touchdowns last year. He had 52 rushing first downs last year. And they ran the ball 160 times with him. Now, you could say, well, they got Ramondre Stevenson. Now we've got a healthy Damian Harris. But, the passing numbers are one thing. We can do that. He is a goal line and short yardage threat at the very least. Is that fair to Cam, though, and say, hey, you're our short package guy?
It's probably not. Probably not fair to Cam at all. And, I mean, I totally get it. I get it. Having a guy like that in your locker room who he probably feels like, I'm the dude, he probably walks around like that. I'm sure you got to get that type of personality out of the building just to give Mac Jones every opportunity to be successful, to let him know this is your football team. Don't worry about making a mistake. Because I can guarantee if Cam is on that roster, I can make arguments for why he should be, but I understand if he's on that roster, I know myself personally, I'm looking over Mac Jones' shoulder nonstop. Hey, Coach, I ain't like where that ball was.
Take, man.
Can I get a rep? Can I get a rep, Coach? I mean, come on. We all want to play and make plays. No one's going to be no one's going to be happy being the backup. Right. Everyone's always fighting to be that starter. And so,
I mean, let's give Cam some credit with how great he's been through the preseason and training camp. And
very great.
I don't get the feeling that he walked around that line. I mean, obviously he wanted to be the starter, but he was so complimentary and really took Mac Jones under his wing. Said that he admired him or that he was inspiring to him. One of those words he actually used in talking about a guy who was there to take his job. So I do think I like how Cam handled this. But now, you have the looming question. Do they go back to Cam now if he struggles? It doesn't matter. There's something freeing about that. You have to love this for Mac Jones. It's his team, struggles or not.
Yeah, and Belichick's saying, look, we're going to be fine around the red zone. Don't worry about the goal line. We got line. We got a million running backs. Like the number that jumps out to me is not the 12 rushing touchdowns, the 8 passing touchdowns. I mean, I think it was time. And now, as far as Cam's future, I don't know. Just remember last year, he sat around for months. No one wanted him. And then he signs this really cheap contract for the Patriots. And that was before any sort of vaccine type of stuff. So this might be the end. And I hope it's not. Cam's a great figure in the league. He's fun to watch. I don't know the teams that like, oh, yes, Cam. I don't see it right now. I don't.
At GMFB with your thoughts, we're going to wrap that conversation.